RTV6. This is the 500 Festival Rev Your Engines Concert Special.
And good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us for the RTV6 Rev Your Engines pre-concert special. I'm Todd Connor.
And I'm Jenna Coy. We are live on Monument Circle, and in just 1 hour, a brand new 500 Festival event is going to take place. It's the Rev Your Engines concert, and RTV6 is a proud sponsor. The free event will celebrate this year's theme, A New Revolution, and will feature the Plain White Tees and the Romantics. Here is a live look from Skycam 6 high above Monument Circle. You can see fans are starting to make their way here. Tonight's goal is to get you fired up for the month of May.
That's right, and we're going to help make that happen, Jenna. During the next 30 minutes, we'll break down all the fun and exciting events taking place both on and off the track leading up to the Indy 500 on May 27th. Hard to believe it's almost here. We'll also talk with organizers and fans, and of course, both bands performing tonight. If
you want to come down, the concert kicks off at 8 p.m. with the Romantics. The Plain White Tees will take the stage at around 9:30. And don't forget, maybe the best part, it is all free and happening right here on Monument Circle. But of course, we've seen rain today, and all eyes are on True View radar tonight.
And Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory is joining us live now out on the circle and going to let us know what it looks like as far as rain. Kevin.
And here I am on Monument Circle. Of course, this is Rev Your Engines, Todd. So from the yard of bricks at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to the wet bricks of Monument Circle, light rain continues to fall. But I think it will continue to be that. If you're coming downtown, you've got to bring an umbrella, you've got to bring a warm coat and a positive attitude and be ready to have some fun. We'll see the rain across central Indiana is heaviest as you go south of Indy. All the green inside 465 is light rain. The other side of the story, temperatures. But the thunderstorms are big time south of Bedford and Seymour. They're pushing south toward the Ohio River, so our threat is rain, not thunderstorms. 49 in Lafayette, 56 in Terre Haute, 55 in Bloomington, but dress for temperatures in the 40s here. It's 48 degrees currently. We'll bounce around depending on whether it's raining or not, but right around that 50-degree mark through the evening hours, it won't change a whole lot. I'd wear your winter coat and bring the umbrella. This is interesting, Todd and Jenna. If you look back at the Circle of Lights, it was 62 degrees for that event. Super Bowl weekend, Super Bowl Saturday, 54, and this evening we were at 52. Let's rewrite that. We're at 48 degrees right now. The irony, if we would have only had this in February, huh?
Oh my goodness. Well, hopefully the weather will get better as we head really into the month of May. And if you're coming to the concert or making your way around downtown tonight, there are some traffic restrictions. The south side of Monument Circle, including the South Spoke to Washington Street, will be closed until 1 a.m. Additional street closures, including Meridian Street from Washington, Maryland, may be warranted just depending on the size of the crowd. And the Romantics are one of the good reasons that we have some of these road closures. And Todd, you got a chance to talk with them recently.
I did get a chance to talk to them. Great bunch of guys, by the way. 3 of the 4 original members. They've been around since 1977. I asked them about a lot of things, including what we can expect to hear from them tonight. Also, just how they've managed to stay along and keep going after all of these years. And I also asked them about one of their most popular songs, or the most popular song, What I Like About You.
Most of the time I was late getting to rehearsal back then in the 70s.
Back then.
Still going on today.
Being the guitar player, and I came late to rehearsal, and a drummer was there, and I had this idea for a song, and that was What I Like About You.
What I like about you, you hold me tight.
Did you know it was going to be that good when you produced it?
We weren't sure that it was gonna. It just had a vibe to it, but we didn't know, you know, anything was going to happen with it. We'd been playing it in the clubs.
And I don't think that people think that you think, well, this is the song we think that is going to be a hit song. Well, we were wrong on that part of it.
Meaning you didn't think it was going to be a hit song?
No, we thought we had other songs that, you know, sounded just as good or could be hits.
That song in particular caught fire in the studios, like lightning in a bottle. You know, and it just happened. It was magic right, you know, right from there, and it jumped. It got popular over in Europe before it did here in the States.
You can't sit down and say this is going to be a hit. You just really write what you feel and what your instincts are, what your past, what you've learned from other groups like Beatles, Rolling Stones, Kinks, and then you throw your own mix into it.
What's the key to outlasting everybody?
Just being stupid.
Being stupid? Is it still because of the love of the music? Is it becoming more of a paycheck? I mean, that's a long time to be out there doing what you guys are doing.
We're still fighting for the paycheck.
No, it's something, you know, it's something that we all enjoy doing, and I'm not quite sure what I'd be doing if I wasn't doing this. You know, unfortunately, there's a calling for us out there.
It's a little too late to start over on something else, but it's always been in me, and I think the rest of the guys.
I think it's all like a creative urge, you know, like, you know, painters got to paint or whatever.
Yep.
And, you know, if it was about the money, we always, you know, everybody always says it's like,
If it was about the money, you'd be doing something else.
yeah.
Is there ever any plan to have new music come out, or you okay with where you are right now?
No, well, we have, no, we're not really okay with where we are, but we've been in the studio, and we've left songs not totally finished, and we've made attempts to do this, and then we've always gotten, not sidetracked, but we've had other projects or something kind of interfere before we got things done. What we need to do is go back in this year, and the fans they're right. They, you know, they want something, but no one wants it more than us.
What can we expect to hear from you at the Rev Your Engines concert?
Well, we'll be doing songs, hopefully that the people are somewhat familiar with, from spanning our first 4 albums, or 5 albums, as a matter of fact.
High energy rock and roll still, you know, we still really kick butt on stage, and a lot of attitude, a lot of fun.
We're conserving our energy right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, looking forward to seeing you guys.
We want everybody to rev their engines.
And they have their engines revved as well. A great bunch of guys, like I said, very laid back, gave me as much time as I needed. It's kind of cool to interview them since I grew up listening to them, saw them back in college.
And fascinating to see how hard they still work these days. They don't just sit back and let their hit songs make the money.
They're working hard. They alluded to that several times.
They did.
All right, everybody's working hard today. A lot of people just hanging out, though, having fun, and the cooler temperatures aren't keeping them away from the Monument Circle.
No, we want to take another live look at Monument Circle so you can see what it looks like. You can see some people are starting to make their way down. We see some people going around the stage, trying to find that perfect spot so they can hear these great bands. And RTV6 reporter Chris Prophet has been talking with some of the fans, and he joins us live from the Circle. Chris.
Yeah, Jenna, you know, we've had really just kind of a light rain that's around the Circle right now, but I was looking off to the north, and I mean, right near where we are, we're starting to see at least some brightening down here. There are some people down here right now. I think they're basically waiting just to see what happens with this weather and hold off until the show starts at 8 o'clock. You know, I had an opportunity. Todd got to talk with the Romantics. I got to talk earlier today with one of the hardest working bands out there, the Plain White T's. They are the headliners here. They had lots of interesting things to say. They had one big breakout song. It was Hey There Delilah. Played all over. They got a couple of Grammy nominations from it, and that really kick-started their career. They're going to be out here performing. It starts about 9:30. You're going to hear from these guys in an exclusive interview we did with them coming up in just a short bit. We'll send it back to you in the studio for now, and we'll see you back with that interview in just a few minutes.
You can see some people are getting excited out there, jumping around behind Chris. The excitement is building.
It is, and it should be, because these are 2 great bands. Can't wait to hear from them. All right, coming up next on our Rev Your Engines pre-concert special,
we're going to take you to the Speedway to show you what's new at the track this year.
All right, plenty of time to come downtown tonight for the 500 Festival Rev Your Engines concert. Did I mention it's free, by the way? You can't pass this up.
No, it's going to be a great time. We're taking a live look at Monument Circle downtown. The concert kicks off in about 45 minutes, again, right here on Monument Circle. So you do have time to get down here, get a good spot. And joining us now live is 500 Festival President and CEO Kirk Hendricks. And Kirk, this is a first-time event. Why did you decide to do this?
You know, last year was the 100th anniversary of the Indy 500, and it had such a momentum behind it that we didn't want that momentum to stop. We thought, let's rev our engines and keep this train on the track, and so that's really largely led to this.
It's a free event. Did I mention it's free? Come on down.
You like that aspect of it.
Which means you don't sell tickets. A little harder to gauge how many people might show up. It's a first-year thing. The weather not quite cooperating like you would like. How many people do you expect?
You know, it's hard to tell. We don't really have a gauge on it, but we think that it'll be successful either way. For one, it certainly sent a flare that May's coming, and that was part of the reason behind it, to say May's coming, the race is just 4 weeks out. We've got 20 events, festival events between now and then, and whoever we get out here will be great.
Do you think this will be now the start of a new tradition? We'll have some big concert on the Circle every year to kick off the month of May?
You know, we might. We're going to see how it goes. We're kind of doing a trial balloon now. Part of the reason we did it is try to have some programming that might engage some audiences we don't currently engage. We have families who attend the parade and runners who run the Mini, but we thought this might be something to reach out to an audience that we don't reach out to very often.
I hate to even say this because we have two great bands coming up. The Romantics start in less than an hour, and the Plain White Tees after that. But what happens if there is rain or some other inclement weather tonight that forces you to cancel?
You know, moderate rain's okay. It's no fun. We get soppy and soggy, but you can still do a show in it. If it's anything threatening, we'll take precaution very quickly.
All right, but our fingers are crossed for good weather.
Well, thank you, and thanks to you guys for jumping in to help launch this first one.
Oh, it's so much fun. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's our pleasure.
Kirk Hendricks, the CEO of the 500 Festival, thank you so much for joining us. And in just 2 weeks, cars, can you believe it, 2 weeks? Cars will be turning laps at the Speedway. So what will be some of the big storylines leading up to this year's race? RTV6 sports reporter Brad Brown takes a look.
This year's race will look very different for the obvious. The cars themselves are different. IndyCar spent the better part of the past 3 years developing a new chassis. The DW12 has already seen some track time at IMS during testing a couple weeks ago. This will be the first time we've seen the oval aero package on the cars, a much lower rear wing and wider side pods, all in the name of safety. With the new cars come new engines. Chevy and Lotus joining Honda as engine suppliers this year. The story so far this season, Chevy's fast, Lotus not so good, the Hondas somewhere in between. 2005 was the last time an engine that was not a Honda started the 500. There are new drivers, including a couple of huge names in open-wheel racing. Rubens Barrichello will attempt to make his first Indy 500 field after a successful 16-year career in Formula One. Barrichello has raced at Indy before in the U.S. Grand Prix. The 2012 rookie class includes a kid who's no stranger to the Brickyard. Joseph Newgarden won the Indy Lights Freedom 100 last May on his way to the Indy Lights points title. Newgarden, driving for Sarah Fisher-Hartman Racing this year, hopes to make the field for his first Indy 500. Then there are the familiar names in new places. Danica? Not this time. James Hinchcliffe has embraced his spot as the new driver of the GoDaddy car. He's hoping to take Andretti Autosport to the front of the field. And with all these new things, a few things remain the same. The Penske and Ganassi teams are still strong. Penske Racing a perfect 3 wins in 3 races to start the season. Elio Castroneves in the opener, Will Power winning the last 2. They've also had the fastest qualifying times all 3 races. Chip Ganassi's guys continue to be strong. While Dario Franchitti and Scott Dixon have struggled at times, you know the Target cars will be contenders in May. And if you're looking for a new winner this year, keep this in mind. J.R. Hildebrand had the lead last year with about 3/4 of a mile to go. But Indy has a way of sorting that kind of thing out. Brad Brown, RTV6 Sports.
We are not letting the rain get in the way. We are getting you pumped for the month of May.
We certainly are. Let's take a look from high above Monument Circle right now, if we can. Coming up on the Rev Your Engines pre-concert special, we'll talk with the headliner of tonight's show, the Plain White Tees. Stay with us.
The Rev Your Engines concert countdown continues. The Romantics will take the stage in about 45 minutes right here on Monument Circle.
That's right. The Romantics are coming, but we can't forget about the Plain White Tees as well. They'll be playing after the Romantics. RTV6 reporter Chris Prophet sat down. Back from them, Chris.
Well, they're excited about playing this show. And by the way, Todd, we've been talking about rain. It's not raining. We talked a few minutes ago about how it's clearing off. It is clearing off here, and so we're rain-free right now. The stage, they're still keeping it covered this evening because obviously they're a little concerned about the weather, but we did get a chance to talk to the headliners, the Plain White Tees, about the Indy 500, about their career, and some other things. Here's what they had to say. So we're with the Plain White Tees. You guys just got finished with your sound check. You guys know about the Indy 500. Does it feel kind of cool to start this whole thing off?
I mean, of course. Dave, you want to take this one? Dave is our sports guy. He's
okay, Dave. A sportscaster. So. Right. Yeah, right. We actually played the time trials a few years ago, which was awesome. It rained. Yeah, so we're just bringing rain every time we come to Indy for some reason. But yeah, that's really cool. I have some family friends that have been going. It's like a family event since I was a little kid, and I always knew like how big of a deal it was. And I mean, personally, I like Indy cars better than NASCAR.
1997, you guys formed in a basement, right?
Basically, yeah.
And so
Dave and I, we started the band.
Mm-hmm. It was our senior year of high school, and after graduation, it was that summer that all the kind of playing covers and screwing around after school, learning instruments in the basement, we kind of decided to give a go at an actual band. And Tom had been writing stuff for a couple of years by that point.
You know, but how do you go from, the things I've read about you guys is that you're tenacious in your work ethic.
Sure.
I mean, is that what it takes? I think
you kind of have to be.
A garage band, if you will, or a basement band to get to the point where you are?
Well, you know, we moved from a basement band to a garage band, and then to a, you know, a backyard band. We played some backyard shows and church basements and YMCAs, and, you know, we pretty much played any venue you can possibly imagine. From, basements to arenas. We're always kind of pushing ourselves forward and, you know, trying to outdo every record we make and every live show we play. You know, we always try to make it better than the last.
And so what does that involve? Is it like almost a full-time job? Is it more than a full-time job?
I mean, it's kind of more of a life, you know. More of a, you know, it's like some people, you go to work and you come home and you're home. You know, you can just kick back, relax, and for us, it's not really like that. I mean, obviously we get to relax, but somewhere in your brain is always that new song you're writing, or, you know, that show we're playing next week, or, you know, it's always kind of, it's more of a lifestyle.
And there was a big hit that really started their career. It's called Hey There Delilah. You'll hear it tonight. Here's what they said about that song.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, it took us from just playing like House of Blues to opening in arenas that entire year. You know, put us in front of a huge audience, and, you know, kept us so busy that year. I mean, we worked like 330 days that year or more, and yeah, I mean, it developed our fan base and keeps people coming back, I think.
I was just telling Damar yesterday, the tweets, you know, every other tweet is still like, Hey There Delilah, I was listening to Hey There Delilah, oh, I still love this song. It's like somehow still like, you know, all that people are talking about.
I was sitting at home, and last week, Delilah was an answer for a Jeopardy question. Or I should say a question for a Jeopardy answer.
A great group of guys. You'll hear them take the stage later tonight, Todd and Jenna.
You know you made it when you're on Jeopardy. Chris, thank you very much. And of course, the concerts are just the beginning.
Yeah, the 500 Festival has so many events planned for the month of May. Coming up, we're going to take a closer look at what's in store and the preparations already underway. Welcome back to the Rev Your Engines pre-concert special. You know, the 500 Festival has been around for more than 50 years. It was formed way back in 1957.
It organizes and presides over 50 events. Our TV6 reporter Derek Thomas has more on what's ahead this May.
This is a swarm of 35,000 runners charging through the streets of Indianapolis during last year's mini marathon. 30-year-old Jesse Davis has competed in the event 4 times. His best finish was 17th, but this year he's training hard to get there first. He runs up to 100 miles a week in preparation for the 13.1-mile challenge.
I'm really excited about it because I feel like I can actually run well this year. It's always been kind of a race that I've wanted to do well at and just haven't been able to yet. So I'll be ready this year, I think.
Davis won the Carmel Marathon this year, so he enters the competition on somewhat of a roll. The Saturday before the 500-mile race, 300,000 people jammed downtown streets to witness the 500 Festival Parade. It is a colorful cacophony of creativity that doesn't happen by accident. Artist Tony Boyle is welding together the body of what will be the wolf and the Sexton community's float, featuring the wolf and the 3 little pigs. The wolf on that float would feel incomplete without his shoes, and Sidney Campbell is crafting that footwear out of styrofoam, so all will be ready to go on schedule. Constructing a float can be a long, laborious process. Sometimes it can take up to 800 man-hours. Each stroke of the paintbrush is motivated by the desire to unlock that prepubescence in all of us.
A parade has to invoke that inner child, I think, and even the adults. So, if you have color, size, motion, anything that, moves is always, a good thing.
It's a good thing for the 500 Festival to have events like the parade to bankroll its year-long agenda.
The 500 Festival supports more than 50 events and programs throughout the year. This is obviously our busy season, so we encourage people to log on to our website, 500festival.com, and get the details of the events that are coming up, learn where to park, how to get around, what time to be places, so we can make it easier for everyone to get around.
Jesse Davis hopes to get around the mini marathon course the fastest of them all. This festival season is kind of like a marathon with all the fun and no sweat. Derek Thomas, RTV6.
All right, and if you're headed to the free concert, bring your coats.
We have one final look at weather with Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory outside. Kevin.
And Jenna, you may think I'm underdressed because I'm with some sharp-dressed students from Warren Central High School. Prom night tonight. I saw you at the Chocolate Cafe. That's dessert. What was for dinner?
Harry and Izzy's.
You guys have a great time tonight. I have nothing but great memories of myself in a brown tux at my own prom, 1982. All right, I want to make a connection quickly between the concerts tonight and the Motor Speedway. Check out the Romantics. 1977, the band was formed. A.J. Foyt won in 1980. What I Like About You was popular. Johnny Rutherford won. Back to you guys.
All right, 30 minutes away from the music.
Have a great night, everyone.